Thank you for staying with us. And of course, moving to the focus for today, Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 26.72% in September 2023 amid soaring food prices and harsh economic realities occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy in May. The federal government said it had secured a budget support loan worth $1.5 billion from the World Bank and another worth $80 million from the African Development Bank to finance various projects in critical sectors of the economy. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, told State House correspondents that the federal government would receive $1.5 billion as a whole before the end of the year, provided it fulfilled its end of the deal. He also explained that the council approved the application for financing from the World Bank and in particular the International Development Association, which is the virtually free or zero interest lending arm or financing arm of the World Bank. And of course, to have this conversation with us and joining us over the phone is Dr. Olushola. He is a finance expert. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm happy to be on your show this morning.
All right. Let us start this way. Do you think that the Nigerian economy as it is, I mean, earlier today in the news, we heard that the inflation rate at the point where it is now, over 26%, that is the highest it has gotten to in over 18 years. Is it time to say that the economy of the country is in distress as it is?
Okay, thank you very much. We need to all acknowledge the reality that we are all facing, not only Nigeria, but across Africa and the world as a whole, with what we are experiencing. Some economies currently, including Nigeria to be precise, is experiencing the highest inflation in the last 2 decades. Nigeria's inflation climbing up to 26.72% in September means quite a lot in affecting the lives of people, the cost of living, and this is really impacting on quite a lot of business. And major contribution or bulk of this inflation is coming from the food prices, which accounted for about 30.64%. So we must look at this as something that is really impacting, and beyond that, businesses are being highly affected. The economy is trying to regain its balance. However, there are too many crises that is affecting the economy.
All right. You just, in your submission, you just mentioned that, more of this rise in inflation is occasioned by the rise in, food, prices of food. And of course, I do know that there would be other factors, that is contributing to the rise in inflation. Is there a way to handle this? It is, in my own words, I would say that the inflation rate in Nigeria is not skyrocketing. I think it is galloping. It is on a very high speed, increasing by the day. How do we begin to manage these, situations that surround this increase and start to bring it low, maybe a step after another?
Okay, thank you very much. And considering what you just mentioned now, that our inflation has been galloping, inflation in Nigeria has risen in double digits since 2016. And this has eroded incomes and savings of so many, investors and, Nigerians trying to, put things together. What we have seen or happening consistently is that policies that are being, taken, or decisions that are being taken by the government continuously impact our economy. The removal of subsidy is one, which is what happened in May, which has doubled, quite a lot of cost of items. Beyond that, the continuous devaluation has also really impacted on almost everything. If you look at cost of logistics now and everything, it has doubled. by all means. So this is greatly impacting on every part, and that's why consistently, just to amend or affect the inflation, interest rate is also consistently being increased in the last 2 decades. So what the team needs to do is not simple. It's not easy to resolve all of this, because they are complex and there are multiple factors that are contributing to all of this. But we need to remain very consistent in some of the things we are doing, and be very more intentional in getting these things being resolved. Definitely expanding the economy and diversifying it into more revenue sources, and then we can be able to start seeing some differences, and some positive impact can start coming in. It's not bad that we are approaching the World Bank to intervene for us on the foreign exchange side, but the volume of 1.5 billion might not really be sufficient to create that kind of impact that we are looking forward to. So the economic team still need to do a little bit more to be able to cushion whatever effect that we are currently experiencing.
All right, Doctor, talking about the fact that you said decision making, especially when it comes to the federal government, has also impacted on the inflation rate. Is it safe to say at this point that the president was ill-informed or being hasty about the pronouncement of the removal of subsidy, which led us to where we are today? That's number one. Number two, what would you talk about the fact that when it comes to the devaluation of the Naira, which has also led us to where we are today, what would you think would have been the issue or reason why the Naira has been devaluated?
Okay, thank you very much. Those are very, very important and very, very, questions that is in the minds of almost every Nigerian, that why that decision, why that very early, why not take a bit of time before you take this kind of decision? When it comes to most of this decision and policy making, it's also a function of how you intend to address or want to address most of the issues that you are being faced with. One thing I've seen so far about this government is that they are very bold and they are very decisive. As much as whatever the voices or reactions, they are very clear about where they are going. And one of the ways for them to be able to achieve that change or make the difference is subsidy is one of the things that is affecting this economy negatively. Even though it's going to have great impact on every Nigerian, but it's a function of time. So I won't say they were ill-informed. However, they were just being very decisive and bold about it, that we have to stop this. We can't continue to subsidize petroleum product at the expense of the future, because what previous government have done continuously is to continue to borrow to subsidize, and that is affecting infrastructure, that is affecting almost everything. So I think we are going to take a hit, and this hit is what all of us have been experiencing between May and now. I believe before the end of first quarter 2024, we should be able to start finding our balance a little bit. Not necessarily that everything will ease off, but at least we'll have a clear direction. I'm sure with some of the information in the news already, they are making quite a lot of progress in terms of savings that have come from this action. Nigerians trying to buy petroleum product for as much as 567, some 590, as against what we were buying in January, February at 167, 187. So it's really, they will have cut quite a lot of savings in this process to be able to intervene in other part of the economy. And as regards the issue of devaluation, this we have carried over time. I'm sure the previous government under the Emefiele administration in CBN they've sold quite a lot of futures.